Welcome back. Today we bring you the Sorcerer. They got 3 new things to look at.
Two.
2.5 new things to look at because Xanathar's got everything. Stay tuned.
So the Sorcerer, conduits of arcane, magical energy. They're born with it. Generally, it manifests in a large way. I was always a fan of the Sorcerer, like killing a village with its fire as it blasts forth from its body.
I kind of think of the way I always thought of a sorcerer is that it like got into your blood somehow. So like, maybe a dragon or not like a demon or anything, but like somehow you're related. You're related to this untapped power, and through your bloodline, like you just kind of pop forth. You have no schooling. It's just something that you're kind of like a mutant from X-Men.
Right, and I think 5th edition does a very good job of differentiating the sorcerer and the wizard.
Yes.
Which is something that when I first got into role playing, I struggled to see the difference really. Like they have the same spell list, they have the same hit die, the wizard has a familiar, but the sorcerer doesn't. The sorcerer gets a couple different weapon proficiencies, but he's not any better at fighting. But no, I think that it's come a long way from 3.0 to 5.0.
So like every other class, the sorcerer gives you the backgroundy, fluffy things. They're neat. You have your arcane origins, your supernatural mark, sign of sorcery, all things that, again, for newer players, they're very helpful. But when you get down to it, like sorcerers are that class you play when you have that like spark in your mind to where you're like, oh man, I have this really cool idea. My guy, he's going to be, raised by all these people, but he's really like the king's son who, comes from all these spellcasters.
A sorcerer is a good like chosen type character. Like all the other classes, there's also some cool art. There looks like there's an elf divine soul. He's flying and radiating golden energy. There's the storm sorcerer. She looks like
human. Definitely a human.
Human, yeah.
I'll show you. She's a human.
Got a lightning spear. And the tiefling, shadow sorcerer, she has a cat with her.
Right.
Pretty cool. Check it out, page 49. Get your books, page along with us.
Let's get down to it. The Divine Soul. We've talked in other videos to where things like kind of feel like half classes. This is definitely the cleric or the paladin. Like they heal.
Definitely more cleric than paladin.
Yeah, they heal better. So their first level ability is so cool. I read it and I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. If you miss a saving throw or an attack roll, you can roll 2d4 and add it to that result to see if you pass. Again, can't be used until after a short rest or a long rest, but if you need that one fortitude save to go well, and you're like, ugh,
it's good. It is good. The Divine Soul is very like alignment based.
Yes.
Where you get an affinity and you choose an affinity upon your character creation. Unlike most of the other classes, sorcerers take that because their magic is from their blood. They get their sorceress origin at 1st level, where all the other classes have to wait until 3rd level before they actually like become what they are. Sorcerers get it right away, and when you make your character, you choose an alignment affinity from good, evil, law, chaos, or neutrality, and that alignment affinity gives you a bonus spell. It's just another spell that you know, which is good because sorcerers don't really know a lot of spells ever.
No.
And there's a lot of cool spells, and you miss out on a couple. So good gives you cure wounds, evil gives you inflict wounds, law gives you bless, chaos gives you bane, neutrality gives you protection from evil and good. And in addition, whenever you learn a new spell, you can choose from the sorcerer spell list or the cleric spell list, which is cool because it opens up a whole list of spells you could possibly learn that won't learn because you're a sorcerer.
Right? Yeah, it is essentially Like, I mean, cleric can have some pretty nasty spells too.
They can, yeah. No, it's good. You have a huge list. You're going to have the most diverse casting list of any class out there.
For sure.
You're also going to get, at 6th level, Empowered Healing, which is probably where you're going to want to take Cure Wounds as one of your spells known to help with this out. Whenever you or an ally within 5 feet of you rolls dice to determine the number of hit points a spell restores, you can spend a sorcery point to re-roll any number of those dice once, provided they aren't incapacitated. You can use this feature once per turn, so basically just as many sorcery points as you have.
Right. Not as good as Cleric of the Graves ability, but still very good.
Still good. Still good. We know that you really love that Cleric of the Grave.
That's so good!
It is really good. It is really good. I'll give you that it's good.
At level 14, you gain Otherworldly Wings, which as a bonus action, you can manifest these pair of wings out of your back, and based on your alignment, which was described earlier, it can either be if you're evil or, evil or, what is it? Something. Evil or law. You get evil or chaos, you get bat wings. Oh my god. And eagle wings for
You got it.
good and law.
Get back in there.
And then for if you're neutral, you get dragonfly wings. So it gives you that 30 move speed as a sorcerer, which at 14th level saves you from a spell. And again, to Brandon's point earlier, sorcerers don't get a lot of spells.
Right. And I really like that they manifest in different ways.
True.
I'm a big fan for flavor stuff, and this is a great flavor thing. And also, it saves you a spell slot because you don't have to take fly.
Yes.
Unearthly Recovery
So
is your 18th level ability, and it's really good. As a bonus action, whenever you have fewer than half your hit points remaining, you can regain a number of hit points equal to half your hit point maximum. So you're going to be able to fight longer. You're going to be able to stay alive longer.
Potentially twice as long.
Yeah.
You know, if you get down to half health, you go all the way back up to full. They gotta knock you down to half health and then down to nothing. You know.
Right. Yeah. It's
It's
going to
just-
be. You're going to be a thorn in their side for longer than usual. Plus, you're going to have the cleric ability to heal.
Right.
There's really no reason that your divine soul should die.
Yeah. Not only that, it's a bonus action. So, as a bonus action, you regain those hit points.
Yeah.
So
once per long rest, but still it's,
how many boss fights are you going into between long
right.
rests?
It's
you know?
a really good chunk of HP.
Right. Next is Shadow Magic, which Shadow Magic are really strong, I felt. At level 1, your Dark Vision range is 120 feet. And then at 3rd level, you get Darkness as one of your spells, which you can just cast as not a spell known for a sorcerer. So sorcerers have a list of spell knowns. You can cast Darkness without it being on your spell list.
Again, saves you a spell, which you don't get a lot of. We keep saying that, but it's really a necessary point to make because you really have to plan what spells you know a lot better as a sorcerer.
Yeah.
I like that they are also depicted as like strange. Like every shadow sorcerer has a quirk. It gives you a little table before it gets into the class abilities. It gives you a little table of like just some quirks that you can roll on. Like you're icy cold to the touch. When you're asleep, you don't appear to breathe. You barely bleed even when badly injured. There's a couple more. It just sort of serves as like a spark of inspiration. I'm sure talk to your DM. They'll let you come up with weird little quirks for yourself.
You blinked once last week.
That's awesome.
Next is Strength of the Grave, which is again another level 1 ability, which is kind of like the divine way to keep the sorcerer in battle. If you're dropped to 0 hit points, you can make a charisma saving throw of 15 plus the damage taken, or 5 plus the damage taken, and if you succeed, you drop to 1 hit point instead of 0. So if they get a surprise on you, you know, you're in the back and they just come up and sneak attack you, you can just, you don't die, and gives you a chance to run away to do your business later.
run away and do your business, and then get back to the fight.
Well, I mean, if you're getting dropped to 0 hit points, you might.
You're going to be doing your business,
You might-
whether you want to or not. And then if you're at 6th level, after you're done doing your business, you can spend 3 sorcery points, which is a pretty hefty cost, to summon a Hound of Ill Omen. It has the stats of a direwolf, which isn't great, but still pretty cool. It gets a bunch of extra stuff. It's medium size. It gets some temporary hit points. It can move through creatures. So basically, it's just another attack on your turn. It stays for 5 minutes or until it is reduced to 0 hit points or its target is reduced to 0 hit points. So you can still be slinging your spells, and then you can have your Hound of Ill Omen running around on the battlefield with its etherealness, biting people. And
Right, and to be fair, the Hound knows. As soon as you think of what you're attacking, it knows what it's attacking, so it doesn't need to. You don't need to change. Think of new targets or
Right.
keep concentration on.
And
the
it's
target.
not like the Beastmaster Ranger either, where you need to give up your attack action so that it can attack. It does things on its own.
It's its own ill omen.
Right, it is.
At 14th level, you gain Shadow Walk. You get to the ability to step from one shadow to another. In dim or dark light, you can magically teleport up to 120 feet.
I'm a big fan of teleportation. I like things
Yeah.
that allow you just teleportation without really any drawback or anything like that.
Right, and it's just a bonus action. So as long as you can get that bonus action, you can just go ahead and just slip from side street to side street as you're marching up, where all the the column of soldiers are going down, and you gotta hide and get past them. It's extremely useful to just as a sorcerer be popping all around, kind of that Nightcrawler-esque,
Right.
idea.
And then 18th level, you get Umbral Form, where you can spend 6 sorcery points
Ooh.
to transform yourself into a shadowy form. You get resistance to all damage except radiant and force. You can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain, so you just move a little slower. You can't end your turn in an object, or you take 5 damage, but what's 5 damage at level 18?
Right.
And you remain in this form for 1 minute, or until you are incapacitated or die, or dismiss it as a bonus action.
Yeah, it definitely fits the strangeness of the shadow. 6 sorcery points, though. I don't see you using it unless you really need to. I think it's your escape. Oh crap, my party just died. Umbral form, float away.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I kind of see the umbral form being used, which isn't necessarily the best way to use it, but.
Well, you never know.
And then our half a new class is actually from the Sword Coast Adventure book.
Those of you that have the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, just wanted to make sure I got the target right, have been playing the Storm Sorcerer all along, because the dragon-blooded sorcerer everyone knows is the only sorcerer worth playing, because the wild sorcerer is lame. Storm sorcery is pretty cool. I just wish that they could have thought of something else, because this is already published. Maybe just give the sorcerer 2 origins instead of just giving us this again. Not to say that it isn't good, but I already have it. I would have liked to see something different.
Yeah. We'll still go over it just because it's in
I
Xanathar. It's still in Xanathar. It's got everything. The level 1 abilities are Wind Speaker and Tempestuous. Tempestuous magic.
Like a tempest.
You can speak Primordial, which means you can talk to the air, water, and earth Jinn out there, along with fire Jinn. And then Tempestuous magic allows you to, after you cast a level 1 or higher spell, you can magically teleport 10 feet away from you if a gust of wind brought you over there.
Right, so it's not so much a teleport as much as it is just a big windy jump.
Yeah, but
If you've ever wanted to play Storm from X-Men,
right? That's what this is.
that's what this is. If the Shadow Sorcerer is Nightcrawler, this is Storm.
What's the divine?
Phoenix? No, it's not destructive enough. I don't know.
Wolverine? Just super healy?
Maybe. Still not destructive enough.
We'll think about it.
Yeah. Heart of the Storm is your 6th level ability. You get resistance to lightning and thunder damage, which you should. Whenever you start casting a spell of 1st level or higher that deals lightning or thunder damage, stormy magic erupts from you. So you choose a creature within 10 feet of you to take lightning or thunder damage equal to half your sorcerer level. Not a ton of damage, but a little nice extra burst. Like, you're casting a spell and you're so empowered with electrical energy that things close by to you are getting hurt from just your overflowing energy.
The level 6 ability is kind of weak. You control the weather around you in like a 20-foot sphere.
Second level 6 ability.
Yeah, so you get an extra ability, but it's just...
It's thematic.
Yeah, it reminds me of Storm. Again,
Mhm.
it's the X-Man Storm. X-Woman Storm.
Yes.
To be politically accurate.
Yeah, you can control the weather around you, but you can't cause it to actually do much of anything.
So, yeah, you can, like, 20 feet around you, you can stop the rain, and then as a bonus action, you can let it rain on you again. Or you can choose the direction of the wind around you. You can't stop or increase the wind, but you
can make yourself look cool by wearing a cloak and having the wind blow at you and billow your cloak around.
Yeah, but you don't really want that, because if like you get shot with an arrow, then the wind is blowing into you. You know, it's you want the to blow across from you.
Or the wizard who's writing in his spell book at night, you could direct the wind to blow his candle out.
Perfect. That's why you have a 6th level ability. You need that 6th level.
You're just needing to prove your superiority to the wizard. Storm's Fury, 14th level. If you're hit by a melee attack, you have a reaction to deal your level's worth of damage back to the attacker in, I think, lightning damage? Yes, lightning damage. And then they have to make a strength saving throw or be pushed back 20 feet. So it's just a deterrent for people who want to attack you because they're electrocuting themselves.
Well, not only that, but when they do successfully hit you, like it stops that fighter or that that melee attacking you. Every time it attacks you, if it has multiple attacks, they hit you on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
If they fail that roll, they push back 20 feet as a reaction. So it happens before they get their second attack. So which means you're only taking 1 attack instead of 3 potentially.
Right. Yeah, and that's good. All of these things have a way of keeping you alive a little longer.
Yeah.
And that's something that you want.
Wind Soul is really cool. I read it and I was like, wow, that's really cool. You gain immunity.
That's what happens when something's really cool.
You just say it to yourself. You just say, man, this is really cool. I
You
can't
said
wait
it
to
out
talk
loud.
about it. Yeah.
I remember. I
did.
was there.
You get immunity to lightning and thunder damage. Not so good. But you get a fly speed of 60 feet, and once per day you can halve your fly speed to 30 to choose up to a number of creatures equal to 3 plus your charisma modifier to give them all plus 30 magical fly speed. So like you're flying on a tornado, and then once per day you can cut your tornado in half and give it to all your friends.
Mm-hmm. For 1 hour.
Yeah, so you don't feel like walking anymore? All right, guys, hop on my tornado. We're going for a ride.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's not a super offensive ability. It's not going to help you win many fights, but it is good to give your whole party a fly speed. Which, now that I say that, may help you win a fight.
Yeah, right. In a fight where you're like just as an action, you can give everyone a fly speed. You're no longer having to like fall into traps or anything like that. That's a pretty potent, powerful 18th level ability. Like if you think out of the box, like it's not going to give you that straight damage or that straight thing, but if you think out of the box with it, it can be really useful. It can be definitely a really good tool in your arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the Sorcerer. We're running low. We've got the Warlock and the Wizard left. Warlock is next.
Warlock's next.
And then who knows what we're doing after that. I'm going to also hold up the Sword Coast Adventurers guide because I feel like we talked about that too.
Kind of. Well, as always,
This is the original. This is a cheap remake.
Even though
it's the same.
As always, please like and subscribe below. And join us next time for the Warlock or any of our other Xanathar videos. And till next time, we'll see you at the table.